Hello, everybody. Welcome to the P. Podcast. I don't think we have a name yet, but that's what we're rolling with for now. We got no idea what we're doing, but this is going to be fun. Episode 1 of Series 1 of Year 1. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Hopefully it's a good podcast. Anyways, if you're wondering what this is about, I don't know. Do you know?
I don't. I was given a little bit of some dot points on the beginning of it. And
hey, speak into the microphone.
Hey, and then
Here, let me help you. There you go. All right. Put your lips on that thing.
Buck on my face here. Let me just go ahead and kiss this baby here. Anyway, no, I got a little bit of... I got a little bit of a kind of a, I guess you'd say, program of what we're going to talk about today. And there's quite a few things that are in that, a lot of it being outdoors fishing stuff, and a lot of it just being just this the South Florida area where we've been staying at, and Grandma's place, and all the awesome adventures that we've had here over the past, I should say, 30 years for me, technically, I guess. No, technically it wouldn't be 30 years. It'd be...
I don't know. I'm 27,
years.
so...
You're 26. It'd probably be about 26 years for me. I'd say probably 24 years for Ethan, so...
Yeah, been coming down here for a hot minute.
It's been a while, so...
How's the trip so far?
Really good, really good. So, actually, just kind of a background knowledge here. So, Grandma and Grandpa bought the place, I think it was back in 1986, and it is directly, I mean, you got A1A and then the beach. So, her place is just right off of the highway, or I shouldn't say highway even. I mean, it's not really a highway. I mean, that thing probably...
It doesn't see a ton of traffic. It doesn't
see a ton of traffic anyway.
We're right across from the beach.
Yeah, so we're right across from the beach. So we've been coming here for, I'd say, let's just say 20 years. It's been more than that, but we'll just call it 20 years. And we come down here. Grandpa, back in the day, he bought the place. And then so leading up in Ethan's question about how my trip's doing. So leading up into that, back, a little behind the scenes there, Grandpa had the place. Grandpa passed away, and then Grandma's always kept the place. And then my wife's dad ended up buying a place right across the street. So... that brought us all down here for this most recent trip here. But we've been doing a lot of trips here in the past. They've just been absolutely great. I mean...
the last trip was insane. We came down for 24 hours.
24 hours. That was from Indiana to Florida to back home. 24 hours.
It was the craziest trip. When you find $22 flights on Spirit, you come down. It was like a cardboard seat. You couldn't take anything with you, but we ended up getting on the plane, flying down here. I was sick for the day, if the office asks, and came back to work with a suntan from sick time. But nobody asked, so that was good. No one pays enough attention. Come down, fly, go fish in the Everglades for the afternoon, fly home. It was the craziest trip ever, but one of the most memorable ones we'll ever have.
That last trip he's talking about, so that was back when... I don't know, it was like it was late February, I think. Ethan and it was like $22 tickets. And the $22 tickets that we had were, it was $22 each person for, I think it was one way. So, yeah, $44. For under $100, we flew down here, and we're here for 24 hours and then able to fly back to be able to be back at work on Monday. And so we flew down here, and when we flew down here, Mom and Dad were actually already down here. And so Dad was able to go with us out on the Everglades. And when we ended up doing that fishing trip, the fishing wasn't that good. I mean, it was cold as heck. I think when we went to the boat out.
It was 37 in the morning when we went out. 37 and got up to like 50s or 60s.
It was like, yeah, it was cold as heck. I mean, I went out there. I normally go out in the Everglades. I'm going to wear, just a pair of shorts, flip-flops, and a cutoff. I go out there in shorts, flip-flops, and cutoff then. God dang, my diamonds were showing. But... but man, it was cold. It was cold.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was cold. It was cold. We did do a decent job catching fish and stuff, but I mean, it just wasn't like the normal. I mean, you normally go out there and you can just slay peacocks. You just slap a shiner in there and you're gonna have one right on you, dead nuts. But I mean, that trip was a little bit tougher. But I mean, for under $100, both of us flying out to go to Florida for a day, that ain't bad.
Doesn't get much better than that. The Everglades is a special place, but that was one thing I wanted to talk about this time was. The Everglades has taken a horrible beating. There's been a cold front that came through Florida, so it's January now. It was either the end of December, right around Christmas of 22, or early January of 23. But man, the cold weather that got down in the 40s and 50s for 4 days straight. The water temperature dropped down into the low 60s, I believe, in the Everglades, and peacock bass died. And there's, it seems like hundreds of thousands of them dead out there. Realistically, when I went out there, I went with my wife Liz, and we were out there for 4 hours. We probably seen 5,000 to 10,000 dead fish, unfortunately. So it's kind of scary. I'm hoping they make a quick rebound, but we'll just see what happens. The hard thing to know is those 4, 5, 6,000 or whatever we've seen, is that 1% of the population, or is that 80%? So I know they all didn't die. I've been able to catch a few on this trip, but it could take a couple months. It could take a couple years for those fish to fully rebound.
I mean, you got to think, too, I really got a feeling that because of how deep the Everglades are, that there has to be some of them fish that kind of, swim a little bit lower, and we're able to at least keep some of that temperature, that water temperature from the lower areas that are going to be able to keep it,
I sure hope so.
At least be able to have something to be able to lay eggs and that kind of thing, to be able to repopulate, sooner than you think. I mean, if you're going to have a bunch of fish that are on the top side of the waters, if it kind of kills off all the top water fish, then you think like the belly water fish are going to be able to come up and have something to do with that. But if a lot of those bigger peacock bass, like you've been catching the past couple days, if they're smart enough to stay lower when those temperatures really, really get low, then the top water there is still a cold temperature, but that middle belly water is still going to be warm enough for them to at least stay alive.
Yeah, the main channel is probably like 15 feet, but a lot of the regular water of the Everglades is probably less than 5. That's why you got to have airboats everywhere, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, time will tell.
Time will tell.
Moving on.
All right,
what do you want to talk about? Favorite fishing trip, worst guided trip, bucket list trip.
I want to talk about. Hey, I want to talk about the worst trip.
Worst trip?
I don't want to talk about the worst trip.
I'll tell you about my worst trip.
I want to hear about your worst trip because I got a really good worst trip coming in at you hot next.
Okay, well, my worst trip was in Miami with a guide that still...
Oh, yeah, you and Dad always talk about this. Oh, this fishing charter we're about to book, it can't be worse than Miami.
No, it was bad. When you go and you show up and the guide's not there and you call him and he's still not there and you see this piece of shit rolling in and you're like, I hope that's not him. Well, sure enough, it was him. He was late. And rolling in a boat, if you don't clean your boat, it's a good sign. Like, if you don't take pride in your work, there's a good chance it's not going to go well. And it didn't go well.
Wait a minute. We got a real nice John boat to bass boat, but at the end of the season, sometimes she starts to look a little rough.
Yeah, but I clean it still every now and then. It needs cleaned.
Okay. It does. But I'm saying if you run a charter out of that thing, then it probably does need to be top notch.
Yeah, it's not my full-time job.
When it's your full-time job, you got to take it a little more serious.
Also, I didn't buy a white boat for a reason. His boat is like yellow. It looks like mustard.
Okay, so note to everybody else, if you're wanting to impress people, don't buy a white boat because that means you got to clean it more often.
Nobody wants to clean their boat.
Buy yourself a turd. And then you don't ever have to polish that turd.
Yeah. I have a nice turd. Anyways, back to this guy. He still does trips. If you want to do it, it's the tarpon trip out of Miami. You figure out who it is. Good luck. But I tell you what, we went for...
Not saying any names, but...
We're not saying names.
Look for yourself.
But it's pretty obvious. He was on a TV show, got a lot of hits, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. First thing we do when I get on the boat is I ask him about it. He's like, yeah, it was a killer day. It was like 1 in a million. And I go, oh, great, so this isn't common, so we're going to get screwed. Well, we did. We went for tarpon. We had one blow up. He freaked out, started screaming when he didn't catch it. I'm like, well, it bit the bait and popped off. I couldn't even get to the rod in time, but some guides are grumpy that way. They just want it to happen so bad. Anyways, moving on. We ended up not doing a ton of tarpon fishing. Finally caught one mutton snapper, which I don't know if it was legal or not. I don't remember. It's been so long. He pulls it off the hook, throws it back before I get a picture, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? I catch bluegills for, like, every day. I want to take a picture if I catch anything. Dad caught a blue runner. Both of our fish were back in the water before you could even take a picture, before you even knew what was going on. They were on and off the hook. Worst trip ever. Worst $500 I ever spent. The guy had no seats in his boat. I think he ran out of bait. It was just a terrible trip. $500 for 4 hours. No fish.
See, I don't know. I would almost chuck that up, honestly. You might even be able to agree with me. Let me know in the comments. I would almost chalk that up to at least a win because you caught fish.
No. Nope.
No, I mean the guy. That guy may have rolled out of bed, hung over, in his beater Toyota truck, with a spare tire on his back axle, and got over there and at least got you on that rusted rig. And got you some fish on.
That's
at least you got some fish on.
No,
that is not a bad trip if you got some fish on. I understand not taking pictures. I mean, that pissed me off too. But I'm saying, I tell you what, man. It's like, if you at least catch some fish, that's a win.
It was the worst trip I've ever been on. Period. The guy looked like he hadn't run a comb through his hair in 6 months.
Okay, so just to let you guys know, whenever Ethan goes fishing, he wants somebody in a suit and tie.
I don't know about that.
He wants a suit and tie, and he wants it to be catered to. So that means when you come in that suit and tie, he wants you to be with one of the waiter discs with some beverages for you. And when you get on the boat, he wants you to give them those beverages. and then even that guy had greasy ball hair. He could have just
greasy ball hair. Greasy ball hair or greased up ball? I can't even say it. Grease ball hair. He had greasy ball hair. This podcast is rated PG-13.
Hey, that's pretty good though. I like your hit on that. But no, that guy could have had greasy.
Greasy ball hair.
I can't even say it now. I can't even say it now. No, that guy could have had a greasy head of hair.
There you go.
A greasy head of hair. If he would have at least had a comb in his slapped out Tacoma that he showed up in.
Slapped out or clapped out?
Both. And if he would have just curled it back a little bit and then put a ball cap on and then you caught those fish, would you have had the same experience?
I don't know.
You got fish, man. I tell you what.
All right, I want to hear your worst story.
You want to hear my worst story? All right, so we fly. Can't even tell you how many miles it was. Actually, this happened last year. We fly all the way to Hawaii. Well, before that, let me give you some behind the scenes stuff here.
It was 4,000 miles. Over 4,000.
Hawaii is 4,000 miles. Oh.
It was like 4,500 miles.
Yeah, so, hold on, time out. Sorry, we got to share earbuds here because we're a bunch of losers.
We can't afford two headsets. It's our first time. Give us a break.
Our first podcast, yeah.
You like the backdrop?
Actually, that sounds a lot better when I put the earbud right in there real deep in my earwax mud. Anyway, so we say 4,000 miles.
I think it was over 4,000, like 44.
Yeah, so we fly 4,000 miles to Hawaii. And before that, little backstory here. So Ethan says, "Hey, I got this guy I think I know I see him on Instagram. He catches a shitload of fish." I was like, "Oh, wow, he catches a shitload of fish. We're going to catch some fish, obviously." And so we booked this place. It was probably about $400 million.
Are you talking about the charter price?
No, I'm talking about that douche that you hooked us up with that was an ass wagon. That guy at the place that was late.
For the charter?
Yeah, the charter.
The charter was not $4,100. It was $1,200.
Yeah, $1,200. Okay, yeah, that makes the story even better.
Okay,
actually.
Hold on. Pause.
So wait, it was $1,200. It was $1,200.
It was $1,200, but the guy that posts pictures every day on Instagram was on a different island. This is the one we got recommended through the hotel.
All right, I take that back. All right,
talk about clapped out boats.
All right, yeah, I'm talking about clapped out.
This thing was a 12-valve Cummins clapped out, rusted out shit box.
Man, I tell you what, this thing was. Yeah, it was rough. Seriously,
it didn't go over about 7 miles an hour.
So just let me tell my story, man.
All right,
let me
go
tell
ahead.
my story. So $1,200. you, me, and Dad went 3 ways, and you made me give me $600. What the fuck's up with that? I gave you $600, and you was 3 ways with Dad.
Tell your story.
Anyway, so we seriously. Anyway, so we're at the hotel. We wake up that next morning, and we go over to the marina, and we're doing like fucking laps around this place trying to find this damn marina.
Nothing is labeled in Hawaii.
There is nothing labeled. It's all in Hawaiian.
Huma huma nuka nuka apua.
Yeah, in that language. No, it's American. But no, we couldn't find this place, and so we're doing like 15 laps. Randy was acting like who does he want to be? Chase Elliott, or does he want to be Jeff Gordon? That's like NASCAR
Jeff Jordan.
Stuff. No, Jeff Gordon, man. Anyway, so we're doing laps around this place, trying to find a spot to park at or whatever. Finally, we found the place. Dude was just loading the boat up. This thing was clapped out cheeks, man. I tell you what, this thing was.
It was the worst thing. It smoked like a diesel truck.
It did. He pulled that sumbitch out, and it literally was blowing black smoke all over the place. And so we get up there or whatever, and we find the spot. We get up in there, and this dude, I mean, he had the mustache and all, and he had his old sidekick there, probably about a bag of dust years old.
Yeah, he was old. He was a bag of bones.
This dude was a bag of dust. I'm not gonna name a chart or anything. And so I started to feel kind of, promising, like these guys are getting us out on the water, etc. Well, we only go like, what was it, like a mile offshore? It wasn't even a mile offshore.
It was a quarter mile. Supposedly Hawaii drops off, and they're right, it does drop off, but they don't have any electronics on this boat.
Yeah.
We're in the 21st century, I think. I think it's the 21st century. Whatever century it is, there's plenty of electronics. When you go blue marlin fishing, you need every help you can get, and they didn't want anything old-fashioned. These idiots were running lures about 6 feet behind.
You were literally helping me with my shit fishing story. I love it.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So what I'm trying to figure out here is, was your Miami trip worse than this, or you're butting in so much on mine right now that I feel like
they were both terrible.
I feel like my worst fishing trip is turning into your worst fishing trip as I tell the story.
I think it's a tie. Miami probably takes the cake because there were no seats in the boat. All right, finish. All right, go ahead.
In the boat.
There was no seats in the boat.
That dude had greasy balls.
It greased up balls. All right.
Anyway.
Did we catch anything? Do we have any fun?
Yeah, so come to find out, we were just trolling top waters, and it was kind of pretty much a waste of fucking time. Ethan was sitting on the ice chest the whole time, just pissed off. I was
trying my absolute hardest not to get seasick because we were in 75-foot waves. $1,200 for seasickness.
Yeah, but I will say the one good thing about that, though, those guys were pretty nice about letting me drive their boat. I don't know if that's legal and if I'm allowed to say that right now, but that dude...
Allegedly.
That dude let me drive his like super speed boat fishing saltwater rig.
Allegedly.
But anyway, yeah, that was a good time, yeah. I mean, it was my worst fishing experience, definitely. I've had a lot better ones. Actually, here in Pompano Beach, back in the day, I mean, way back in the day, this guy didn't have a beard. He had more hair on the top of his head, actually. And we went...
That's hurtful.
That is hurtful, I know. Well, I ain't got no, like, beard hair on my face, so I'm allowed to say that. I still have the exact same deal I had when I was then. Maybe not. I didn't have a mullet then, did I?
Nope.
Anyway, so we went with Dad and with Grandpa Jim on, was it a it was a charter boat.
Yeah, it was one of the Pompano Beach Inlet just charter guides there. I'd actually talked to them today. I think we paid like $300 when we went out, and they're over $750 now for 4 hours.
$750 an hour?
Yeah, it's about as bad as the Hawaii rate.
Jesus. But they catch fish.
No, not today.
They didn't catch no fish today?
No, they said they jumped one sailfish and caught one shark, but I'm not paying $750 for a shark. That's ridiculous.
All right, well, I'll tell you right now.
Anyways, finish your story. I keep cutting you off.
I know, I love it. Because you know what I'm talking about, so it makes it easier. If I tell a story that you don't know anything about, then you ain't going to cut in.
All right, tell me one I don't know. Actually, finish this one first.
Anyway, so we went out with Grandpa Jim, and I think this really got Ethan's like fishing going just absolutely bonkers there. So we went out. It was me, Dad, Ethan, and Grandpa Jim, and they had like the whole seat and stuff where you sit in, you reel them in, whatever.
The captain's chair.
The old captain's chair,
oh, yeah.
And we caught quite a few fish that day, but was it Grandpa that got hooked on the...
Grandpa caught a sailfish.
Yeah, Grandpa caught a freaking sailfish. And did we let it go, or...
Yeah. That cheap bastard didn't want to have it mounted. The bad thing is now, if I catch anything, it has to be taxidermy, and I've got like more taxidermy. I have an account set up with my taxidermist.
Dude, they're actually, I'm pretty sure that guy that you go to right now is just like, all right, I'll just put it on your account.
Yeah,
I'll send you a bill in the mail. You got what, $1,200 at a taxidermy right now?
It's way north of that.
I know it is. Ethan's got hold on, sidetracking
it's 4 figures at least.
Yeah, sidetracked it a little bit here from the Pompano Beach, saltwater fish and stuff. From this past year, when it comes to ducks and it comes to deer, did you get that coyote done too?
No,
he didn't get the coyote done. So, I don't know if you guys follow along on Ethan's YouTube channel. That's a shout out here. We're going to do a commercial break for Ethan's
Ethan
YouTube
Price
channel.
Outdoors. Follow, like, subscribe, hit that bell, and ring it for notifications. Wait, smash that like button.
Smash that like button. You're also going to get a little bit of a preview here in a short second right now. Ethan's YouTube channel.
That was a terrible transition. You suck.
What's that? I did the whole cut. That's what they do in Hollywood. They do the cut. Like how they do that, the little fucking thing, and they do cut, action.
No. All right, moving on.
Anyway, moving on. So Grandpa ended up catching that swordfish.
Sailfish.
And
quit touching that thing. It's going to sound like...
And so I like touching it, man. I just want to hold on to it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't
Ricky Bobby.
I just don't know what to do with my hands.
Don't do a podcast with your family.
So yeah, Grandpa ended up getting that sailfish, and so we had to let it go, and then we hung the flag upside down. But I tell you what, when it talks to, like, I don't know if that was one of your hits you wanted to get at, but I think like most memorable experiences, that was definitely one of them. And then one of the other ones that I have that is my most memorable experience in this area, it was me, Ethan, Dad, Grandpa Jim, and then we were down here for, I think it was spring break. And we went out drift boat fishing, and it was I brought one of my buddies, and Ethan brought one of his buddies, and I brought my buddy Cameron Reed. Shout out Cameron Reed if you see this. Any of my buddies know Cameron Reed, tag him in this. And then Ethan brought Garrett
or Douglas?
I think it was Douglas. He brought
Probably.
Douglas Bailey. If any of you guys,
been a hot minute since I've seen him.
If you guys see Douglas Bailey or Cameron Reed, give them a shout out on this. They want to see this.
Nobody wants to watch this. I don't even want to watch this back.
I do want to watch it back. I think it's gonna be real good.
All right, onward.
So we went on drift boat fishing, and I tell you what, them guys, they hook your stuff, and you just drop your line over the side, and they get you right on a nice school of fish. That was a good time.
They do it all.
I tell you what, drift boat fishing's a good time.
Not anymore, because they hit it 3 times a day.
It's probably fished out.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, we probably did that about 12, 15 years ago, and it was good fishing. I can't tell you what it is now. They're probably just catching rocks.
Oh, it's no good. I went and looked to see what they were catching this time, and had like 20 fish, but 10 of them were like mangroves, 10 of them were lane snappers.
And you're telling me they had a whole boat of entire, like a group of people?
There
like
was probably
people?
15 people on there.
And they had how many fish?
About 1 per person, and the minimum size is what they had: 10-inch lanes or 10-inch mangroves.
I tell you what. When we used to go, they used to have to mark our fish, like they used to mark the heads of them because we used to catch so many of them.
They still do it, 1 in the head, 2 in the throat,
yeah.
1 across or whatever. But I mean, the fish ain't the same. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Cameron. Somebody caught a little kingfish. It wasn't big enough to keep, but it swam around everybody's lines and tangled everything on the whole boat. Drift boat fishing takes a special kind of person.
You gotta have some patience on that shit. I mean, drift boat fishing
sucks.
If you're the guy,
it's another one of those terrible.
Hey, if you're the guy in the front or if you're the guy in the back, you're getting fucked.
They're no good.
If that dude in the middle catches a real nice fish, he's gonna tangle everybody else's lines up the whole goddamn direction towards you.
No good.
No good drift boat fishing.
I went and looked because if they were catching them, I was gonna go. I'm not going $60 for a 4-inch lane snapper. Pass.
Yeah, I'll just go catch peacock bass.
Okay. Moving on. Switching topics.
Hey, I tell you what, I like that metronome in the beginning. Could you keep that going for me?
Yeah, actually I can. Here, listen.
Actually don't.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Yeah, that is super annoying.
Drive you nuts.
I do kind of like it in the beginning.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's in our ears, and it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, it's in my left ear, not really both ears, but Because we're cheap asses. We're going to share the same. We got the same cord here.
Same cord. We had 2 pairs of headphones, but apparently one didn't work, and we about broke this one trying to get the other one started. So anyways,
we're not blaming anybody.
New
for
topic.
That,
Thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Liz.
New topic here.
I'm gonna get her some.
Your GoPro just blew up.
Oh my God, my GoPro's doing something wild.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Let me repush
Hit it again.
Let me repush it.
That's going. We're firing up again. There we go.
We're firing back. You're only gonna get one spread of that over here.
Let's talk about our boats.
My boat.
Where did we start with? Grandma and Grandpa's paddle boat.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want to talk about.
That's what we're gonna talk about. Yeah. From the very beginning.
The OG boat, the blue.
We're talking like the PDOT OG unit.
That thing was a long time ago.
Yeah, so
it drove in circles.
It did drive in circles. So behind the scenes on that, so Grandpa that had the condo with Grandma Barb, they had a lake house in what was it, like south? It was technically, I think, like in our town.
Up north.
But it was up north, yeah. So they had a lake house, and Grandpa and so Dad and Uncle Scott worked for the utility company. We were able to get like a little lift or whatever.
I forgot about that.
We actually set so someone had hit a utility pole, so we got half of it, and we ended up setting that utility pole right next to the like a boat dock or something.
The lake, and then we had a drawbridge. And we had to go up and down to lift the paddle boat in and out.
Hey, it wasn't even like a motorized. It wasn't even a motorized like winch. It was a hand winch.
We were still
But we set that utility pole, and we hand winched this like lift. Like this lift would have been able to hold like a pontoon boat or Dad and Uncle Scott. I feel like they really over-engineered it. But you could have a couple. You could have had a couple ski-doos on it, I think. But we had a winch to be able to lift this. It was a paddle boat, and it would lift the paddle boat up, and then it would lower it into the water for us. But yeah, like Ethan said, that thing you'd just go in circles, man. I tell you what, we paddle halfway across the lake and have to have Grandpa come out there and swim us all the way back.
Yeah, it went in circles. It was a piece of junk. I am so glad it's gone. I don't know if anybody knew that I sold it. I'm not sure I was supposed to sell it, but
anyway, so we sold it.
I sold it. I got way more money than that thing was worth. It seems to be that way with
Was that
boats.
A marketplace? Or no, a Facebook
no, that
marketplace
was some
wasn't
trailer
like,
trash.
It was Craigslist. Yeah, it was Craigslist. I think Greg, yeah.
Greg's List.
Craigslist.
Some trailer trash bought it in Monticello, and I'm pretty sure he overpaid, but it didn't matter.
Overpay.
And we went straight to the Rule of Kings, and I bought. No,
was it called
I got the Sun Dolphin, but that was after me.
It was
a
Sun Dolphin boat, though.
Yeah, but that's after.
It was a 2-seater Sun Dolphin boat.
Yeah, but here, listen to this. So we had the pontoon, but that wasn't doing it for us. So me and Garrett thought we'd buy an aluminum boat.
That wasn't a pontoon, though.
Paddle boat, sorry.
It was a paddle boat. Yeah.
Paddle boat, that's what I meant.
You had a paddle boat.
Did I say that?
Well, you said pontoon, but now you got everybody confused.
All right,
so
hold on.
It definitely wasn't a pontoon. We had the paddle boat.
Paddle boat. Then me and Garrett thought we'd upgrade, and we bought an aluminum semi-flat V bottom. I don't know.
No, before that, man. Before that, we had the like Sun Dolphin 2. It was like a double.
The gray one.
Yeah, but it wasn't aluminum.
That was the plastic one. That's next.
That was
hold on.
that was next.
All right, so me and Garrett got this boat, and it had.
I know what boat you're talking about. I know what boat you're talking about.
It had more holes in it.
That thing was a piece of shit.
The trailer didn't have lights. Anyways, we painted it John Deere green for some reason. He's a farmer.
Because that's the best color there is, John Deere green, baby.
John Deere, if you want to sponsor this, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
I don't see it happening. Anyway,
go ahead.
So we painted it John Deere green. The trailer was silver. We drove it to Wolcott once and got pulled over by the police. And
when you drove that thing to Wolcott, you had to unload it out of the back of your or out of the back.
I'm surprised it made it.
I think you unloaded either out of the back of Gary's truck or the hot tamale, and you had to carry that thing a football field and a half to even get it to water.
Probably, yeah. It was a dumb idea. Anyways,
you had that
we painted it John Deere green. A couple months went by. We hadn't used it, and I went to the scrapyard one day, and I go to take some metal in there, and I look over, and there's a John Deere green boat on top of the aluminum pile. And how many John Deere boats do you think are in our town? None. Garrett had scrapped my boat, our boat, whatever you want to call it, because he didn't want to deal with it anymore, and we hadn't used it for like a month, and it was at the top of the scrap pile. So
Garrett made the executive decision that boat sucked,
And that's
is what you're trying to say. Garrett made the executive decision.
It sucked.
He said, this boat's a piece of shit. He says, I think I'm going to upgrade to, and not tell Ethan. Yeah. I'm going to upgrade him, buy Ethan a Skeeter boat.
No.
And I'm not going to tell him about it. Oh, that's not what happened?
No.
Because you upgraded to the Sun Dolphin, too.
Because he made the executive decision. I made one, too. I said, screw it. Sorry, Grandma and Grandpa, love you, but I'm selling this paddle boat. And I went and bought a Sun Dolphin. And it worked for a little bit, but it's made for small water.
But
it's junk.
But I will say the one nice thing about that Sun Dolphin is you had a 2-seater spot for it. You had 2 separate upside seats. So you could almost bass fish off of a small. But we had a troll motor on it.
It had a trolling motor, but you got to be in like 1 acre of water or less.
I mean, it was. I mean, you almost had to just hit a ditch, but. This thing, it was okay.
Remember when we put that in the ditch?
We did put it in a ditch.
We put it in a ditch to go frog fishing once, or frog catching, gigging, whatever.
Yeah, we gigged frogs out of that.
That was stupid. That was another. That might be up there with the Hawaii for worst fishing trip.
I don't know. That was. I would say when we're talking about worst fishing trips, I'm talking about a guided tour. Now we're talking about worst fishing trips just on our own. That might be something else we'll have to talk about. That'd be the next podcast. Tune in next time. But that Sun Dolphin, man, that thing, I will tell you, the one nice thing about that, too, though, is you could spin the seats completely around and you could fish off any side.
Yeah.
You could literally just sit, it had it was almost like a trough bench seat. So, like, you'd put the seat, but the rails only moved one direction.
Yeah. I'm glad that then we got rid of that and I upgraded to a John boat.
Yeah.
But I couldn't afford a trailer, so I got to tell you the story on how I got a trailer.
Yeah, this is actually a good story here. I remember this.
Another one that involves Garrett. Basically, anything that involves Garrett's no good. I mean, it's good, but no good.
Easy. It has.
He'll be on this at some point, I hope.
Yeah, we're gonna have him as a guest for sure.
But they had a clapped out looking piece of junk speedboat that me and him tried to fix, and we ended up running a Sawzall blade through the fiberglass at the bottom of the boat. It happens. But we scrapped it, said screw it, and then he gave me the trailer for like $10. But he said I had to get rid of. You get me one?
Yeah, you want a light beer, dog?
Yeah, I'm enjoying my Fresca. We need Miller Lite, Fresca, and John Deere to sponsor this podcast.
Definitely.
And
Phil's Heavenly Pizza of Pompano Beach would be great too.
Awesome. So we get the trailer going, but I got to get rid of the boat. And anyways, we pull a boat down the road, and the boat fell into the road, and
I think I
got just chilling in the top of the hill.
I'm pretty sure I got a good Snapchat of that. I'm pretty sure Garrett was driving. It was the trailer, and then like the boat. Boat was on the car trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah. So my car trailer, we decided to put the boat on it. He grabbed it with the grapple bucket, sat it on there. I said, no, we don't need to strap it. We'll just take it to the burn pile, and then we're going to burn this fiberglass with aluminum motor because aluminum melts, apparently.
So what I remember about that story was actually, so Garrett, I think, was driving, and Ethan had a Snapchat going. It had to be by chance. I remember in the Snapchat, Ethan is looking through the rear view mirror, and like the boat's on there, and then he looks in his side mirror, and the boat's gone. It's in the middle of the damn road. This some bitch was fucking scooting there. Fiberglass was sliding across that damn asphalt. I tell you what.
You probably could have. I mean, you wish you were there. You'd enjoyed it. It was kind of scary.
I'm still enjoying it right now.
It was at the backside, like of the top of a crest hill. So right when you get to the top of the hill and you're doing 90 through the country, because that's how fast everybody goes, that's when you just slam into the boat and
you know what? Yeah, you know what would have made that story better is if you would have bought the boat, or if you would have went with him to go get the trailer during the wintertime, and then instead of even having a trailer to deliver the boat to the burn pile, I could have been sitting in the captain's seat. You could have towed me over. You could have towed me over in the snow, and I could have just been snow plowing that son-bitch all the way over the burn pile.
That'd have been good.
So then we upgrade. So anyway, sorry. Long story short. So we upgraded to the John boat.
No, this is long story long.
This is long story long. So we upgraded to the John boat to bass boat.
Yeah.
There's a really good video in Ethan's YouTube channel. We'll put a link into that after this.
That's one of the things that I've done, created, whatever you want to call it, mastermind, that I'm really proud of.
From that trailer reel to get from that old boat. Yeah. I mean, that was literally, I mean, it took a while.
That trailer was junk, and now it's like, it's a gold mine. It's beautiful.
I mean, it might be, I think the trailer's actually like underhauled for the boat that it has. I mean, you could put a lot more weight on that trailer.
Yeah, if we ever upgrade, we can probably still use the same trailer.
We might be able to do that.
Moving on.
What do you
want to talk about?
I want to talk about food around Pompano Beach because I got some samples over here.
Jared wants me to try this dog turd he brought over here. Let me try it. Bring it over here. Come on.
It ain't a dog turd. So there's a place here. It's called Killen's.
It's not just here. They're all across the place. Let me see this.
And they just got it. So I got a couple samples here.
Eat this? This looks like a dog turd.
Hey, I'll tell you what. My father-in-law said, "Hey, I just cut this and I'm gonna shape it like a dog turd." So Ethan actually wants to try it.
What is it? Chocolate?
That is chocolate and caramel. Actually, it's dark chocolate and caramel. What, you doing some ASMR?
I'm trying. It's actually pretty good. No, I would not buy that.
All right, well here, this one's my favorite actually. This one right over here.
Is it maple?
No, that's not maple. That's peanut butter. That one's damn good, bud.
This looks like a dog treat. It's not dog food, is it?
No.
I feel like you'd do that.
I should have done that. That would have been so good. One of them dog treats that my mother-in-law made. I should have brought one of them sons of bitches for you to just eat. Just pretend like it. That one's the maple pecan.
Maple's the best.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, I'm not a big fudge person, but maple's the best.
I'm not a big sweet person to begin with, but I tell you what.
I like Fresca.
Well, see, that's one of those things. I was telling Chris and Allie earlier. I said, you know what I said? The peanut butter on that one, I feel like I could take 2 or 3 bites of and be pretty good because it tastes pretty good. Like, I like that peanut butter flavor. But when it comes to, like, really super sweet stuff, I'm not about that. I don't like that shit. But the chocolate one, was pretty good. I'll take that. Maybe I just got a really good bite of caramel. I don't know.
Do you think anybody wants to hear what you like?
Maybe they do. Maybe they I mean, I'm literally right now talking about how good the dog turd looking one was.
Pompano Beach has some of the best food out there.
Yes, that is true.
If you ever go to Flanagan's, that's where it's at.
That's what we had for dinner tonight. I had a full rack of ribs shared with my wife, and some of their fries. Their barbecue sauce was pretty good. My father-in-law had a baked potato. Ethan was
only people over 55 order a baked potato from a restaurant.
That's bullshit.
You can make that from your house for 3 cents.
Hey, that's bullshit. I had a baked potato the other day, and it was delicious.
You're 55.
Somebody's knocking on the door right now.
Great. They can come on in here.
No, I think it was that door.
Sweet. All right.
Anyway, sorry, we're in Grandma's, what do they call this? Casino lounge?
Condo.
This is the lounge.
All right.
Condo lounge.
Best fishing trip.
Best fishing trip?
Yeah.
I gotta think about this.
Key West.
Nope.
No?
Nope. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Anytime you spend time on the water with me.
I'll tell you what, this was a nail in the coffin for me, actually, when I was thinking about this. So, my best fishing trip, and I know this is probably going to be biased here, was, hold on, Leezy, how far back you lean in your chair, man? We're connected, dog. So I would have to say my best fishing trip, I wouldn't even say it's a trip, because we go here all the damn time, would have been...
Hey, you can't say that. Say the river.
Oh. Hold on, we're going to bleep that out for a second. My best place would be probably river.
No.
My best place would probably be...
on the river.
My best place would probably be on the river.
There you go.
We're going to bleep out probably about the past 4 seconds of that, but what I'll come back to is here. We got a secret spot over here on the river that we go to, and my brother and I, we took his boat out, and we were able to park on this, like, island area, and we were with...
that was a good time.
We were with Ethan's buddy, well, my buddy too.
G-Dog.
We were with old G-Dog, old Spice Daddy, and we were all three. We were just throwing some good lines in, and I ended up catching the biggest white, or was it? What was that thing?
Yeah, jeez. I'll tell the story.
Well, I'm gonna tell us.
No, we went up there to the river for some night fishing.
Are you about to tell my favorite story?
Hold on.
Right now?
Night fishing is the best.
It was night fishing, yeah.
I don't know why. There's just something special about it. There's nothing better than just getting eaten alive by bugs.
And I tell you what, man, I had a 7-inch mullet going on then. It was sexy.
It was embarrassing.
It was sexy.
We were on the river, and it was embarrassing even to me.
No, it wasn't. And they had a band going on. It was a wiper, yeah.
Wiper.
And I tell you what,
which is a hybrid striped bass for those of you non-fishing folk.
8 pounds?
I was a little over 8.
It was a little over 8 pounds.
But you caught your PB wiper. You caught a PB crappie. You caught a PB smallie.
I had all PBs that day. That And then my favorite thing of it was Garrett always saying that he was hooked on to something and he never had anything.
All he does is catch rocks.
I tell you what, that's my favorite thing
every
too.
Time.
Every time he'll be catching a rock, and I tell you what, he'd be hooking on. He'd be like, he'd be on there.
He sucks at fishing worse than Jared.
No, he doesn't. I think he's pretty good too.
But Jared caught 3 PBs.
But I had a good few PBs on that one.
You remember what I caught?
Yeah, you caught something that I lost.
No,
that was a different one. That was a different day.
I caught a 5-pound walleye.
You caught, yeah, 5-pound walleye.
Super proud of it. And
of
for all of you walleye fishermen, it tasted amazing.
Yeah, everybody doesn't want you to eat walleyes, but I tell you what, walleyes
No, you
taste
can
good.
eat walleye. You just can't eat the big ones because they go and reproduce. But they taste good.
Hey,
what?
I tell you what, if you catch something that's legal limit, you take that home and you fry that sumbitch up and you enjoy every second of it.
It was amazing. But anyways, we went out there another time, same year, probably like 2 nights later, hooked into another walleye, probably like 7 pounds. Personally think it was my best walleye to date. This guy just sucks at netting. He threw it.
Now, wait a minute.
We lost it.
Wait a minute.
No.
The water conditions were rough.
It was a rough night, but you should have got it in the net.
No,
we should have pictures of it right now.
No,
and we should have eaten it.
Hey, let me rephrase that. Not only were the water conditions rough, we were in a shitload of rocks. So have you ever tried to use a wiper net when you have...
What's a wiper net?
Or not wiper net.
Just a fishing net?
No, what's that net that you use for them big fuckers up north?
A muskie net?
Yeah,
it was not a muskie net.
Hey, yeah, that net that I was using, it might have well been a damn muskie net.
It was a big net, but it wasn't no muskie net.
It was a big ass net, dude. Dude,
it's a 7-pound Walter.
Okay, so what he's trying to say is I'm trying to like fish through a bunch of rip current as well as 50-pound boulders on every side of where my net's at.
Long story long, he lost it.
I lost Ethan's fish because it was rough conditions.
That place is amazing, though.
It was rough conditions.
That place is that's where I learned pretty much how to fish. Some of the best fish in there.
Some of the best fish in there.
There's days you can catch 10-pound wipers and you can catch 10 of them.
And that's our secret spot. We're not
that's our secret spot that Jared already slipped out 3 times. There's going to be a lot of beep, 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 beep in the beginning of the story.
Hey, that's all right. We're not going to tell anybody where our good fishing spots are at. Like, here's fun.
You will. All right. Moving on. What else you want to talk about?
Moving on. Wait, well, we already started talking about, like, places to eat at Pompano. We got a little bit, get more into that. So we talked a little bit about this, Killian's.
That is a dog turd.
That was a dog turd, yeah, but it tasted good.
It tasted okay. It was a 7.
A 7 out of what? 30?
15.
7 out of 15?
It was okay.
All right, what's your favorite place to eat in Pompano?
I don't know. I like the fish shack. I like fish. Good American fried fish.
Yeah, but I'm okay. Grouper. So I'm talking about just okay. So you personally, that's what
grouper.
You like.
I like grouper and mahi.
So that's what you like
or
personally.
Anything I catch.
All right. So I'll tell you what my personal
Peacock
place is.
Bass.
My personal favorite place is, and then we have to figure out what the place is that you would go if you were taking your family, like you, Liz, Grandma, and Mom and Dad.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to say my favorite place is Flanagan's. You go over to Flanagan's on a Monday, get a pitcher of beer, you get a free nachos.
And the nachos are the size of a watermelon. They're about 12 inches tall and about 24 inches wide.
Have you ever seen a 12-inch watermelon?
I'm not a watermelon farmer.
You ever seen a 12-inch watermelon? I swear you ain't never seen a 12-inch watermelon. I'm telling you what, these nachos are 17 inches.
One?
Well, tall. Not one nacho that's 17 inches.
Just loaded down.
It's one nacho. You just got to break off. You got to break off what you're having. You got to break off what you're having.
Flanagan's is the best place.
Flanagan's is the best place. But hey, what I want to know is if you're gonna take, Lisbeth, Mom and Dad, and Grandma out somewhere, where are you taking them?
Probably Flanagan's.
I just said that. You can't say that again.
The ice cream shop. I like ice cream.
I hate ice cream. I think sweets suck. Anyway, so if I'm going to take out the entire family, not including Ethan, obviously, it'd just be me and my wife and
everybody else
and my
about
mom
me.
and dad except Ethan, I would probably take them to a place called the Naughty Dog. That place, they have. I mean, their food's pretty good.
Naughty.
But
Nauti. Nautical. For those wondering.
Yeah. So it's actually a really cool environment. So my wife and I, this past trip here, we drove down with our puppy Millie, and they have an entire menu that's just for dogs. You can order them chickens and etc. And it's right on. That's an intercoastal right there, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's like intercoastal.
It's almost
intercoastal.
the ocean, but still intercoastal.
Yeah, still intercoastal waterways.
Coastal.
Coastal, yeah. Intercoastal. That's a word, man.
Did you go to Delphi?
No, Twin Lakes, dog. No, so it's a nice little waterway area. You can actually, people park their boats up and come up there and have something to eat. But you can actually bring your pup out there. It's pretty nice. And they do a good job about accommodating your puppies. So
how much trouble do you think I'd get in if I dropped a line and then caught one of their dock pet tarpon?
Well, I'll tell you what, when we were there last night at the Naughty Dog, every scrap piece that I had, like fries and etc., I fed to them sons of bitches the whole time.
There's so many catfish in there right now, saltwater catfish.
I seen saltwater catfish, short ones, probably about 10 inches.
You could probably just put your thumb in there and they come up and eat it. It's like the Indiana Beach carp.
I would say that too, because they
They're
act
kind of
like
gross.
that. They don't like lemons.
But anyways, how much trouble do you think I'd get in? Is the juice worth the squeeze?
That juice is definitely worth the squeeze. Actually, you know what? Why don't you just get one of them fucking muskie nets?
Just dip net them out there?
I'll throw in.
Could you imagine trying to dip net a 200-pound tarpon? Anyways, fun fact. I was going to say I'd get yelled at, but I got yelled at this week when I went to the Everglades. Did I tell you that?
Mm-mm.
I told Liz, I said, hey, that dock over there, you can't fish on. She goes,
wait, you got yelled at by your wife? Or
no,
you got yelled at,
no.
Well, because I could have guessed
moving
that.
The dock over there you're not allowed to fish on. She goes, oh, yeah? I said, yeah. You want to see me get yelled at? I said, I'm going to try it. Got over the dock, and this guy goes, hey, you, sir. And I just kept walking, pretending like I couldn't hear. And then he's like, yo! And starts screaming at me. I finally turn around. He's like, no fishing. Whatever. I got back over there, and Liz's like, I could hear him the whole time. How could you not hear him? I was like, I was almost there. A couple more steps.
No, what you were saying was, I'm trying to pretend that my brother, he can't hear good. So if I don't want to hear good when I don't want to hear good, it's fine.
I was trying so hard. There was a couple fish. Some guy told me they were over there. I was going to risk it, but I got yelled at.
Sometimes you got to do that, man. Sometimes you just got to risk it, the biscuit,
to get
the good spots.
I don't know why everybody has such a problem with fishing. If you're a Karen, screw you.
Yeah,
I had
Karens,
the police called on me for ice fishing once.
I forgot about that.
What? The cops.
You were literally on public property even.
Questionable. It was a subdivision pond.
A subdivision pond. I mean, everybody around that area pays taxes.
They called the police. I was out there. There were 7 inches of ice. You damn near could have drove a truck out on this place. And a cop came up. He's like, what are you doing? I kind of look around. I'm like, what the hell do you think I'm doing?
Camping.
Getting ready to go on vacation. I mean, I'm fishing. And long story short, he wanted to make sure the ice was safe, so I started jumping on it, and he said, I'm so glad you didn't fall through because I ain't coming out there to save you.
All right, thank you. No, leave.
And then he left. He told me I was good to go, but the fish weren't biting, so we ended up leaving anyways. But That's times.
Funny.
So many grumpy people. I don't know why you can't fish. That's one thing about Florida that drives me nuts is that every 5 feet there's a sign that says, no fishing, no trespassing, no parking. So it's impossible to do anything around here unless you go to like the main canals. But they're tough. It is tough fishing, especially right now at the cold front.
Cold front sucks.
Cold front sucks.
Cold front sucks. What else you got on that list over there, brother? Let's dive into a little more things here.
Last thing.
We got one last thing we're going to touch on?
One last thing. You got to pick.
It better be good.
You ever get seasick?
No, I don't, actually.
I'm pretty sure that I've gotten seasick damn near every time I go out on the ocean.
Dude, I honestly, like, I think I'm immune to it.
Also,
immune to seasickness.
Found this out in Hawaii that you can overdose on Dramamine.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that.
I did not overdose, but I was probably close.
No, dude, some bet you took, when we went on that shit charter that I was talking about earlier.
I took 4.
Yeah, you took 4 of them, and that guy that was
You're only allowed 1.
You were supposed to have 1, and that guy even said something. He's like, oh, my God, you took that many? And I was like, oh yeah, he's just looking for a buzz.
No, I
no,
just
you
don't
can't
want
get
to
a buzz. You can't get a buzz from Jeremy, I don't think. But anyway, so
Yeah,
so
I've
you
tried
could take,
everything.
what's the limit then? What, like,
You can
what,
have one.
So what would be the limit on? Have you looked it up? What would be the limit on you actually overdosing on Dramamine?
Who knows? I didn't, thank God. But you're only allowed one. I took 4, but I get seasick on damn near every trip I go on the ocean. Never on freshwater, but on, well, maybe if we go on the Great Lakes. But I've tried everything. I've tried the patches on the wrist,
Dude, we
behind the ears.
we have been through some rocky ass water
Yeah.
on the lakes up north of Indiana, and you have never maybe it's because you're driving the boat.
Maybe.
I bet because you're driving the boat, I bet that has a little bit of something to do with it.
Okay, next time we go out in Hawaii on our $1,200 charter with the greasy balls.
I brought that up tonight at dinner. You just need to get your captain's license, and you could take us wherever you want.
I could go get my captain's license, but those guys, they look like grease ball monkeys or whatever.
Grease balls?
Grease balls. I was over there tonight. They all look like burn up leather.
All right, well, you know what? This is going to be the new regime here.
I want to move to Florida.
You're going to be the new regime of captains of Florida.
Regime,
yeah. You know what I'm talking
regime?
about? Yeah, regimes.
I want to move to Florida and become a guide.
Yeah, you do. And
you think I should?
You know
what would I guide?
You know what? Just quit your job, man. Just quit your job. Just do YouTube full time. We're doing podcasts now. I mean,
if you guys thought this was worth our time, let us know. I highly doubt it was. But
yeah,
I'd
I seriously
love to
doubt
hear.
it was either. We got some funny stuff on here, I'll tell you that. But
there's a lot of good stories. Hopefully we can get a good guest on here like old G-Dog. And
we'll get G-Dog. We'll get Randy on here.
Yeah.
I think I got a handful of it. We'll get Hutzel on here. We got a handful of good buddies we'll get on here. Tell some good stories.
Yeah. If you guys like this, let us know. If you don't, let us. Don't tell us. We're
tell
probably
us,
going to do it regardless.
Thank God YouTube doesn't have a thumbs down.
Well, they still do, but they just don't count it as much now. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the P-Dot Podcast, number 1, season 1, episode 1, year 1.
Guest star Jared P-Dot.
And your co-host. No, I'm your host. Or are you the co-host?
You're the host. I'm the co-host.
All right. Peace out, dog.
Peace out, dog.